Well, hello there. It's been a while. Oh, hasn't it? It's been a while, hasn't it? You probably even see the title. I'm not even going to talk about the title, honestly. Let me talk straight about what I want to talk about. I've always done it that way, and it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the relationship theory. Welcome. I was thinking a lot about today and not of my own volition, really. A lot of stuff came through for me, for me today in the image of fear. In the image of fear. Guys, you know I like fear because fear works its very best to integrate what you actually want into your life. You just need to appropriate the energy from fear. Not to say that anything bad is going to happen if you don't, because it doesn't. But it's there so that you can get the help you need. And this shows up in a lot of ways for a lot of people. It shows up in many, many different ways. It doesn't always come at the same, it doesn't always come down the same pathway, but it does come. And it's when you are aware that it's coming that you can do something about it. So yeah, no, fear is a wonderful thing. Fear is a lens. That's what I will say. Fear is a lens. And the reason why I want to talk about fear is because I feel like it's a very, very strong energy in the world today. Yeah, I'm gonna go straight into that one. It's a prevalent energy that's out there right now. If you've ever seen the movie Smile, it's something like that. It's a horrifying movie. I would say watch it, but if you're prone to getting scarred psychologically, don't, because it's pretty strong. And also you have people who like fear and aren't afraid to project that stuff onto people immediately after viewing things, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be personal, individual, collaborative, memorable. But not everybody has your best intentions at heart. And also they remember that they're, well, you know what, if they're fear-based, they don't remember. They're just doing what they do to get their rocks off and then leaving you wherever you stand. So with that in mind, yeah, fear is great. Fear is a lens. Fear is something that you can use to change. You don't have to change anything, actually. You just need to see fear for what it is so that you can appropriate it and integrate it and give yourself a better life. Very, very simple. Not everybody's trying to give themselves a better life through the means of fear, though, and that is what I want to talk about because it's so prevalent. So if you're around the world today, it's a Sunday today that I'm recording this on. If you're around the world, you'll see it. If you're around the world, if you're moving around, if you're doing things that you need to do or want to do, if you know the difference, then you should see this. On Facebook, and a little less so on Twitter, I complain a lot that people are using social media to say stuff that they don't say in person, to sign things that they don't sign with their body language. People are trying to communicate, they're just doing it in ways that serve them and them only. So they're not trying to communicate. But that wouldn't be me confusing that. That's just people trying to get what they want through the lens of fear without communicating with you about it. And that's not so nice, is it? No, it's not nice at all. But there, that's what it is. So I don't like to caution people about what's going on in the world. I don't like to caution people about things that seem like they're fringe or edge or cringe or potentially devastating. What I like to do is tell people that that very small, seemingly impotent thing that bothers you and seems to be a crutch is probably your greatest strength in disguise. But it's not your strength trying to give you your weakest point. It's that when you do not bear your strength, when you do not carry your might. Something that would otherwise fill the place through misuse or the absence of use takes its place. That is what a vulnerability would be. And especially as we're talking about fear as a lens and using it to address your world and become yourself. Yep, you become yourself each and every moment, each and every second, each and every day, each and every month, each and every year, each and every sun up and sun down. You do. And that's the fun stuff. And when you're doing it with people who do that, it gets really fun. And then the people who use fear to have their fun aren't making it so fun for the people who use fear to have fun. Right? They're using fear as leverage over themselves and the weaker parts of them that keep them from having the best fun they could possibly have. Also, fear is something that you can use to trigger things like a higher level of intelligence or emotion and awareness, or being able to feel emotions. You can increase your sensitivity using the lens of fear. There's a lot that you can do with it. And you don't get people who communicate about this stuff too much because they're too busy playing fear-based games that don't challenge the individual who projects from a place of fear. The only thing I would advise people who are trying to build off of fear rather than deconstruct other people off of fear is to go find people who construct themselves off of fear. And by off of fear, I really just mean they use it as one of the placeholders for the things that make them better, rather than to destroy themselves, maim themselves, or maim someone else, mentally, psychologically, really. Although, if it's psychological and mental, it might as well be physical. Time is no friend in that regard. So fear is, I don't have too much of a attachment to fear, which causes me to see it in a lot of people and in all the ways that people project it. You see it in body language. You do. It's very easy to see what people are afraid of when you look at how they look at you in a moment where, when you look back, realize, oh, wait, they were afraid? Or even, I was afraid? I didn't even feel afraid. A lack of sensitivity does not mean that you don't feel fear. Fear is a lens, not a scale of sensitivity to context, because that doesn't make any sense, does it? You don't have to be communicating with somebody, and you could do that with yourself, but if you're with yourself, you have less of a problem admitting the truth to yourself, or if you do, you have a therapist. But generally and naturally, you're communicating and communing with other people who have those things. So you both are naturally leveling each other out through resonance, through harmony, through communication, through connection, through the meeting of the minds and intimacy and conversation. Yes, through all of those things. Yep, it helps and it works, and that's the way it's supposed to be. What do you think, though? Do you think that the people who are using fear not as a lens, but as a countermeasure against their own vulnerabilities and therefore snuffing it out completely, rendering them blind, and also therefore an unconscious thing that they're doing and they don't even realize it? Or is it something else? You tell me. But that is this episode of The Relationship Theory. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm so glad to be here.